Started on our backs. And whenever you're there, just bring your hands right on top of your belly, like right on top of your navel on either side, and allow the weight of your head, the back of your head, to sink down into the ground and close your eyes if that feels okay. Now, if this is a lot for your low back right away, you can offer up a little bit of support by just bending your knees and then readjusting as you need to feel that space in your low back maybe ground down towards your mat or the ground underneath you a little bit more. You might even knock your knees together for a little bit of internal rotation of the thighs here. And then take one big breath in. See if you can feel the space underneath your hands expand. And then a big breath out. Doesn't have to be this massive movement here. Just take another big breath in whenever you're ready, and a breath out. And then a few more like that on your own. So start to notice, can you bring the breath a little bit more into your belly, right? So a lot of times we breathe with our shoulders and just only breathe in our chest area, right? Like, of course, our lungs expand and contract, but can we use the muscles in our belly to take an even bigger breath in, right? Like our diaphragm drops down and then pushes the belly up into our hands to allow more space for the lungs to fill up even more, to take a bigger breath in. So we just start to notice that a little bit more, taking those belly breaths, right? In and out, the rise and the fall. Last one here, breathe in and out. Take your arms out like a T here and let your palms slip up to the sky. And then bend your knees if you haven't already and plant your feet a little bit wider than your hips here, a little bit wider. And then you can separate the knees if they were touching, and then just let both knees fall over to the right. So a little gentle twist here with maybe a little stretch in the left quadricep muscle. And you'll come back up through center and then let both knees fall over to the left. Back through center. Now you can stay here and reset if that feels really nice for your low back, or think about hugging your knees or your shins towards your armpits without lifting the head up, right? So keep the back of the head on the ground. Just draw your knees towards your armpits here, and maybe even a little rock side to side can feel really nice. And then, really gently, you'll just roll onto one side and press yourself up to a seat, just an easy seat here, sitting up nice and tall. Take your hands and tent them behind you. So just the pads of your fingers press down. And then rather than drawing your shoulders forward, see if you can roll them back in space so you can squeeze your shoulder blades together and then maybe lift your chin. Think about expanding across the chest. Take one more big breath in here. And then slowly come up to neutral. Reach your hands up to the sky, big inhale. And then you'll twist to the right, similar to what we did last week. So left hand to your right knee, and your right hand comes behind you. You might look over your right shoulder or then look over your left. I like to play with both here. And then keep your left hand on your right knee, reach your right hand up to the sky. like we did last week, make that letter X here. And then round through your upper back and drop the weight of your head. So finding that little pull, if you need to, bring your hands to your thighs here. Keep the cross of your arms, but just lift your fingers up. So finding eagle arms here. Maybe wrapping the forearms or bringing hands to your shoulders. Take one more big breath in. Can you lift the elbows without letting the shoulders lift up as well? And then as you exhale, round forward. So nice. And then you'll come back up to center, unravel the arms, sweep them out and up, big breath in so you can grow a little bit taller. And then exhale, you twist to the left, right hand to your left knee, walk your fingertips behind you, look over your left shoulder or your right. And you'll keep your right hand where it is, reach the left hand up overhead, and then cross the left arm on top of the right, like that X. And then can you lean, almost lean back here? The back of your heart here leans behind you and drop the weight of your head forward. Keep the cross of the arms, eagle arms here. You can wrap the forearms or hands to your shoulders. Take a breath in to lift the forearms up. And then exhale to round them forward. So you just bow forward. Weight of your head can be heavy, maybe a rock side to side. And then you'll lift back up and unravel that all, but make your way onto hands and knees, tabletop pose. Hands can land right under your shoulders. Toes can be untucked or tucked. You'll take a breath in to find cow pose. So the tailbone will lift up, the belly drops down. And can you squeeze the shoulder blades together a little bit more? Notice how that, like you let your sternum almost sink down and then draw the chin forward. And then as you exhale, round your upper back, drop your head, maybe look in between your knees. Cat pose. And one more round like that. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. And you'll come back to neutral. Send your right leg behind you. So three-legged tabletop, a little balance here. Can you roll the right ankle in both directions? And then tuck your right toes onto the ground. Press back through your right heel for a moment. Get a stretch through the back of the leg. And you'll spin that heel down, reach your right arm up here. So you open up into this like modified side plank. If you want a little bit more strength here, you can start to pick that right leg up just for a moment, a little bit of balance. Maybe reach the right fingertips forward. Can you draw your right toes closer towards your face to really press like you were pressing the bottom of that right foot away from you, like onto the wall in that direction? Take one more big breath in. And then you'll plant that foot back down if it was lifted. Reach your right hand up to the sky again. And then reach your right hand back to the ground. You'll find tabletop pose. A round of cat cow to reset. Breathe in, open up, and then breathe out to round. Come back to neutral. Now you send the left leg behind you. Let it float about hip height. Take a roll of the ankle in both directions. And you'll tuck the left toes under, press back through that heel. And then you'll spin it down to the ground so you can open up to the left here. So left hand will reach up. Your choice to stay here or reach the left fingertips forwards. You can find that length through the left side, maybe even float that left leg. Energy all the way out through the heel, through the toes. So that left leg stays strong, not just hanging out. It can really be activated here. Finding a little more strength. One more breath in. Reach the left hand back up to the sky and then bring it back to the ground. Tabletop pose. A round of cat cow here. Inhale to cow, exhale to cat. Come back to neutral. Tuck your toes under if they're not already there. Float the knees up. And then send your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. And I like to take down dog with bent knees, like super bent knees here. And then pedal the feet. Maybe bend one knee a little more, send the opposite heel down. Finding even more length to the back of the legs. And you can take your feet a little bit wider apart to then walk your hands back towards your feet. Land in what's called a ragdoll pose. So bend your knees a lot here. Try not to lock the knees at all. So bend the knees so you can let the belly almost just drape over your thighs here, and then shake out the head, yes and no. Maybe open and close your mouth a few times. Notice if you're holding tension in the jaw, here's a good place to release it. And then you'll slowly, slowly, at your own rate here, just make your way up to standing. And once you're there, take a shrug of the shoulder, draw the shoulder heads back, and then let them fall down. Maybe do that one more time if that feels good. Shrug the shoulders, draw them up, back, and down. So nice. And then flip the palms forward for a moment here. Notice how just rotating the lower arm here, like just flipping the palms forward, encourages the collarbones and the shoulders to open up. Keep that same awareness. Take a breath in, reach the hands up and overhead. And then just bend your knees, sit back in like a chair pose here. You'll take a breath in to lift the chest up a little bit more. And then as you exhale, stay in chair pose, but swing the arms down alongside you like wings. The palms will face forward to keep the collarbones expanding. But then here, can you squeeze the shoulder blades together a little bit more? Create a little bit more strength in the upper back, in the arms, energy out through the fingertips. You might even play with balance here by floating the heels up. Play with that. And then take one more big breath in to press the heels down if they're lifted. Stand up, reach the hands up overhead. Interlace your fingers above your head and press your palms up. So you get really tall here, really long. And then just lean over to the right. Come back up. Press down through your right foot and lean over to the left. And come back up. And then release that clasp of the hands, and we'll take a little bit of just like a swinging motion. I like to do this like when I need just like a little bit more movement in the shoulders. We'll do a few different ways here. So swing the arms up and then swing them back. Swing them up and back. Do that a few times. As slow or as fast as you'd like. I like to keep a nice, like, gentle bend in the knees and maybe even lift the heels up. So kind of similar to that action like we were in chair pose and then we took forward. I just want you to find like fluidity between those two sort of shapes. Take a round or two more and stand all the way up. And then release the arms down. Again, shrug the shoulders as you breathe in. Draw them back and down. So nice. And now take your arms out like to 45 degrees here. And then start to find a little bit of a twist. But as you twist, I want your feet to stay planted here just to start. And then your left arm will wrap in front. Your right arm will come behind you here. And then it doesn't have to be super complicated, just slowing it down to start. And then you'll bring the arms out, twist to the left. Right arm wraps in front, left arm comes behind you. Now, you might start to take a little bit more momentum into going right and left. So just letting the arms kind of follow your shoulders, your upper body, your torso as you twist right to left. Now keep that nice fluidity in the knees. We're just doing this for 5, 4, a little bit more movement. Maybe you make it even bigger. 2, and slow it down. Last one. So nice. Take your feet a little bit wider apart, a little bit wider than your hips here. And take your elbows. You're going to take your hands behind you here, like you did before, but your palms will face back, right? And then start to bend at the elbows. So you can grab opposite forearms here. Or if you want to find an interlacing of the fingers and creating this sort of fist action, you can. And bring that fist to your low back here. Now, like you did before, bend your knees just a little bit more, not like a full chair pose, but enough your knees are like nice and bent here. Now, think about drawing shoulder heads up, back, lift the sternum, maybe lift the chin. Now, if your palms can press together and that feels really, really strong and firm, you might start to play with straightening the arms here, finding that bind behind you. Or you can stay with just holding onto your forearms. Totally the same action of just lifting the sternum, lifting the chin, opening through the front. And then stand up, release that, sweep the arms out and up, big breath in. You might even look up. And then exhale, fold forward over softly bent knees. Take a halfway lift here. So walk your hands up your shins, press them into your legs here as you reach the top of your head forward. And then you'll walk your hands back forward to that downward facing dog shape with super bent knees here. Take a breath in. Bigger breath out. You might even open the mouth, let out a sigh. You'll rise up to your toes, feel your heels lift up. And then drop your knees down to the ground. A round of cat cow here. Breathe in, define cow. Breathe out, define cat. Coming back to neutral. And then swinging your legs around in front of you. One last time in an easy seat here. Just a few more things. Take a breath in to sit up nice and tall. You might hold on to your knees or your shins here. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. Drop your chin to your chest. And roll your right ear over towards your right shoulder. They won't touch, but just the weight of your head, can it be drawing down towards that right shoulder? And then chin back to the center of your chest. Roll your left ear over to your left shoulder. And chin back to center. Maybe lift the chin up, open through the front of the neck, the throat. And then come back to neutral. Now take your hands out like a T. Flip your palms back so your thumbs will point down, right? And then start to bend at the elbows like you did before. Your choice. Either palm over palm here, grabbing opposite forearms or opposite wrists, or making a fist, okay? You can keep all of those options here. But if you want to take palm over palm or that fist, take that over to your right hip behind you, right? So you're just going to almost like move that forearm, the left forearm, to your low back, okay? Or you can have that fist just like that, okay? Now, as you do that, try not to round the chest forward. Can you sit up really tall here? Take one more breath in. Now drop your chin to your chest and roll your right ear over to the right. Might feel like a different sensation here. Now imagine you have a pencil on the tip of your nose and think about drawing a line up, straight up, and then down to the ground. And then maybe you like go off on that line because you have like this one particular spot that feels like really full of tension. Maybe you just like draw a whole entire circle with that invisible pencil. Just a way to find a little bit more of an experience. Can you find your breath as you do so? Move in all directions if you need to. And then you'll come back up to a tall spine, top of your head reaching up high. And then release that clasp. Take a hug here, like you were giving yourself a big hug. Wrap your right arm on top of the left. Grab opposite shoulders. Take a breath in. You might even round forward here. Breathe out, drop your head. Excellent. Sit up tall, arms out like before, palms facing forward to start. Then the thumbs draw down, palms back. Bend at the elbows. Either it's right palm on top of left, or you find that clasp of the hands. Now, this time you bring that to your left hip. So you're just drawing that right hand over to your left hip a little more so that forearm can be on your low back. You'll sit up nice and tall here. Take a breath in and start to drop your chin to your chest first. Roll your left ear over to the left. And then same idea, you have the freedom of movement here. So maybe it's drawing that line up and down. Maybe it's creating a big circle. Maybe it's just like rocking the head side to side. Your choice of movement here. Reconnect with your breath. Breathing in and out. Last two. Last one. And then release that. Take the arms out like a T. Now you're giving yourself that last well-deserved hug here. Left arm over right. Maybe grab your shoulder blades or grab your shoulders. Take a breath in. And then you get to round forward here. And let the weight of your head drop. And you'll come up. Release one last time to tent the hands behind you, pads of the fingers press down, lift the chest, lift the chin. And you can come back to a seat. We're going to land here in stillness for just a few moments to close our time together. If you know you really want to lie down and you want that to be like the restorative experience you end your practice with, of course, you can take that. We're not here too long, but you can stay in whatever shape you need for as long as you need, of course. So if you're in a seat, sit up nice and tall with the weight of your shoulders nice and heavy away from your ears. Soften the jaw, maybe close the eyes. If it helps to find and really connect with your breath, with that physical anchor of your hand on your belly, you can, of course, take one hand over your navel. Take a breath in and out. Your other hand might even come to the center of your chest. So you breathe in and expand. Breathe out to soften. A few more moments just to notice that rise and fall. a little bit of effort to draw in the breath and ease as you empty. Maybe letting that be a metaphor for the rest of your day, right? This balance of effort and ease. Many things throughout our day, throughout our week, throughout our month, throughout our year, our life create or beg, demand a lot of effort. But can we tackle those challenges or even incorporate more moments that are filled with a little more ease? And just to balance that out, take one last full breath in. Maybe open the mouth, letting out that slow sigh, the restful exhale. You can bring the hands to the knees and flip the palms up if you haven't already. Maybe flutter the eyes open, take in a little bit more light. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and we'll see you again soon.